So let's start with it from the story that I was sharing with you. So when the basketball scholarship fell through, I turned down academic scholarships and enlisted in the Army. I knew coming out of high school that I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be wealthy. And for me, that was simply, I just wanted to be better off than what I grew up with. It wasn't anything heavy. It was just, I just knew I didn't want to be in a situation where I have to wonder or say to my kids, well, I don't know. I'll see. I ain't going to make you a promise. Because I appreciate my dad so much, because that's what he would always say, was that he wouldn't overextend with his words. Because he said, no, I can say I'm going to be somewhere and I get into a car accident. All you're going to remember is Daddy said he was going to be there. Perspective, right? So when the basketball scholarship fell through, I turned down academic scholarships, immediately enrolled in college courses, went into the military, immediately enrolled in college courses once I got to Germany. And that's when I picked up my first real estate book. I was in Germany, I started reading, because I knew right then I had a game plan. I knew it was something that I wanted to accomplish. And I immediately started thinking about, okay, I want to get my credit right. You know, I wanted to get my credits right. I was just getting in the military, and I knew that I needed to prepare. Okay? And so as I did that, opportunities opened up for me. One of my professors, her husband was a West Pointer. She knew my company commander. They approached me one day about going to the academy. Truth to be told, I had no intentions of going to West Point. I actually had a disdain for West Point officers, because here I was as a soldier, and they obviously didn't realize that my job was to take care of them. And they would be talking to me and didn't realize, because they were just out of college, had no idea that my job was to take care of them. And because of that experience, I didn't think that that's what I really wanted to do, but I was smart enough to recognize opportunity. And I figured as long as someone was going to continue to put opportunities in front of me, like, for example, if you guys going to continue to put deals in front of me, I figured I'd at least go through the submission process of doing the paperwork. I'd at least make an offer. You know? I'd at least go ahead and go through the process. And that's what happened. I continued to do that. But Desert Storm came up, and so school got cut short, and so I went off and served. And at 19, when I walked the perimeter during Desert Storm, I said, Lord, if you allow me to make it back, I'll never waste a day of my life. There's a line in the sand. I think all of us have been some places, something in our lives where there's something that you can reflect back in your memory where there was a line in the sand.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. You know? See that line in the sand, you know, if you're a believer and you go around with Jeremiah 29:11, you got to understand that everything's meant for your good. See, you got to be aware of your lines in the sand. Because see, those lines in the sand will give you perspective, and it will give you compassion, and it will give you empathy. So if you're talking about doing real estate, then it gives you an opportunity to stand in the other person's shoe and not be a crook. And not take advantage of people because of what you have that they don't have. See, there's a responsibility that comes with this thing of calling pursuit of wealth. There's a responsibility that comes with it. And unfortunately, because people don't get the right understanding, they go about it, and what happens is they burn all the fields for all the people that are doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Understand? And so here I was walking the perimeter during Desert Storm, and I said, Lord, if you allow me to make it back, I'll never waste a day of my life. So when I got back to Germany, I did get the opportunity to go to the prep school, and I went on to the prep school, and I went there because I said I can go ahead and get back in the academic frame of mind. I can go ahead and play basketball kind of on the junior college level, and that's what my game plan was. See, it's an important thing in your notes to understand that one of those secrets is that you got to have a plan. So that if you want to put your notes in your topic tonight, the topic is how to create lasting wealth. That's the topic. Secret number one is you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, then here's what you're going to experience. I wrote Life is Rich, How to Create Lasting Wealth as a principle-centered, biblically based leadership program focused on personal growth and entrepreneurship. Life is Rich, How to Create Lasting Wealth is a principle-centered, biblically based leadership program focused on personal growth and entrepreneurship. And I wrote it specifically to address the fact that 77 million baby boomers are retiring and facing a cash flow danger. And 66 out of 100 people age 65 earn less than $30,000 in retirement. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got this 10, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The numbers show will earn less than $30,000 in retirement. By show of hands, how many of you be excited about earning $30,000 in retirement?
I ain't excited about earning that now.
Right.
I would, I'd be homeless. I already. Yeah.
And so that's the why. I want you to also understand that in writing this book, I was writing it because I saw this as a real problem, because as I fast forward and tell you my real estate story, what happened was I went into the military, I served, I went on to West Point. At West Point, I was the 3rd Regimental Commander. There's a brigade of 4,000 cadets, 1,000 per regiment. So I made the decision to go. And I made the decision on February 26, 1992 at 10:30 a.m. February 26, 1992 at 10:30 a.m. I did this. You ever heard of Benjamin Franklin T? You haven't? Okay, good. Take this note. Benjamin Franklin T. This is going to make you money in the future. Benjamin Franklin T. is simply this. You draw a line across, you draw a line down. You go pros, you go cons. Got it? Got a T?
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin. That's it. February 26, 1992, I did that. In deciding whether or not I was going to deal with West Point's BS or not. Essentially what I did, that was one of my bullet points. Got to deal with a lot of BS. But I looked at the other side of saying, oh, okay, well, I can kind of be, puts me in a great place in life.
Pros and cons to everything.
Always. Here's a nugget. I like to make good money off of bad deals. Excuse me, I like to make good money off of bad numbers. I like to make good money off of bad numbers. Looking perplexed, talk to me. What am I saying?
Someone else's bad numbers. When somebody doesn't analyze something right, you take the risk, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't.
Somebody else. I like to make good money off of bad numbers.
Over somebody else's bad numbers.
Okay, somebody else.
No benefit.
Remember I said I'm not going to ever take advantage of anybody. Remember?
Who said bad numbers are bad?
Okay. Well, it's all relative. Yes.
Do your research.
Okay. And as I do my research, then what?
Find out what the numbers are gonna do.
And then what?
And execute. I know.
Somebody else.
No, you
Last
put
one.
cons on those numbers.
Huh?
You're gonna do a pro and con, you put your T on those numbers.
Yes, but good money off of bad numbers.
Kosher, when things are bad, when things look bad, that's when you go in.
Okay, so here's the answer. This is gonna make you money. I promise you to be making you money tonight. And then here's how you convert information into money. You convert information into money by having an understanding. Here's how you understand. If I tell you, you forget. If I teach you, you remember. If I involve you, you'll learn. Say it. If I tell you, you'll forget. If I teach you, you'll remember. If I tell you, you'll forget. If I teach you, you'll remember. If I involve you, you will learn. If I involve you, you will learn. Good money off of bad numbers looks like this. If I see that this property is worth $100,000 and I'm seeing that I'm buying it on a loan to value of $70,000 and I'm seeing that I'm going to sell it at, I can get $40,000 profit, well, am I going to be good enough with $25,000, $75,000 selling? If I move it at 75, do you think I'll be happy with it?
What's profit? What?
Depends on what you had to spend on.
Well, here's what I said. After repair value is $100,000. The ARV is $100,000. I picked it up at 60.
Put 15 minutes.
The Apple, It's already ready. My margin is already there.
Oh, okay.
60,000 is already there.
Yes.
40,000 is the top.
Yeah.
That's my good numbers.
I take 75.
Will I take 75?
Yes.
Yes.
Piece of the right depends.
All
If
day.
any good money off a bad number simply means that when you are running your numbers, instead of you selling the biggest, selling the perfect deal, which is many people, what people do, that's what happened during that bust, which I'll tell you about what it looks like to go from 5 million to 0. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give you some perspective. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some perspective. See, good money off of bad numbers means that you're gonna make sure that you're conservative in your approach.
Yeah.
Understand? Because see, all that's on paper. Just make your numbers on paper. I mean, make your deals on paper. If you make your deals on paper, then that's where you provide the opportunity so that you can get yourself in that position of retirement. That's where planning comes in again. Okay? All right. So here we go. We're talking about this financial danger, and we're talking about the numbers, and we're talking about secret number 1 is you got to have a plan. Now, your plan has to be based upon what you truly desire. You gotta, as Stephen Covey says, you gotta begin with the end in mind. You ever heard of the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
Yeah.
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 Okay. If you haven't, I encourage you to write that note down. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
7 halves?
7
Habits.
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 Oh.
Habits.
Oh.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Begin with the end in mind. Backwards planning. Right? Things that if you will put into daily practice will allow you to be more intentional with your actions and will allow you to sharpen twice, cut once. You understand what I mean by that?
I'm sorry.
Sharpen twice
Yeah.
and cut once.
Yeah.
Got the story of the person in a race between someone that's sawing and someone's chopping. Got the person that's sawing just going at it, sawing, and the person with the axe is just chopping it. And they,
The better prepared, the easier it is to execute.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, it doesn't cost you anything to get prepared. It doesn't cost you anything to get prepared when you factor in the profit side of it. Initially, you might think it's costing you, but it's what is saving you. I remember the one time in which I lent someone $270,000. Actually, no, it was $250. It was $250 that I lent to. And what I failed to do in that moment was I didn't do my normal thing of dealing with my attorney. Because the person was someone that I knew through an association of something called the Leadership Jacksonville. So they probably have leadership in Savannah, probably. And so I just did something that I cut a corner. I failed to follow my own checklist, right? And the lesson in that was that the only thing I had to show for it was a judgment. Lesson. It's a valuable lesson. It's a lesson that I give away, that I don't give away because my clients pay for it, because that lesson that I can give to you through real life circumstances is invaluable, right? Preparation. Preparation. The second secret. So secret number 1 is the plan. The second secret that I want to talk to you about is the system. The system. You see, if you don't have a system that lines up with what you wanted to accomplish, that plan, that beginning with the end in mind, and the plans you put in place, then what will happen is you can have the most talent, you can have the most skill, you can have the most resources, but you can still be working hard, extremely hard, and missing out on things because you just don't have the system in place. Have you ever noticed people? Have you ever seen or experienced something where you've seen someone in a particular field where that you knew that you had more talent than them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Many times you experience stuff like that on a job or something, right?
Yes.
And so what you got to do is you got to be mindful of those things. You got to figure out how you can mitigate that condition where someone else's system that they're operating in is handicapping you. So the system that is handicapping people in this financial world is a system that causes 97% of people to be unable to retire comfortably.